Thank you, ladies and gentlemen, for coming. And everybody stand for the Pledge of Allegiance. Isn't that about how way he does it, if I remember correctly?
All right. What's up, folks? Welcome to Foreign and Domestic. It is good to be here. Good to see everyone popping up in the side chat. We do appreciate you folks out there. Alan's not quite sure if he's going to make it. He's got some stuff going on potentially. So with that being said, Pat, if you would, sir, please start us off right.
Yes, sir. Everybody remove your hats, hands on your heart, and everybody recite with me. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America, to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Excellent, excellent. Thank you, sir. Thank you. All right.
So,
Jamie,
sir, what do we got going on? Oh, sorry.
Dang, Daniel, you missed the pledge, brother.
Oh, I just got back in. Had some company over here, and we were shooting. Got up this morning, the brand new baby goat. Surprise. So, yeah. So, how's everybody doing?
About that good. Howdy, Daniel.
Hi.
All right, Pat, how's your week been, man?
What, mine?
Really good. Broke 500 this week, and was on Hillbillies the other night. Got some more subscribers, even though I didn't ask for it. He put them up there for me, so I wasn't going to turn them down. And yeah, it's been a really good week. Getting a lot of farming, a lot of ranching done. Unfortunately, no rain in sight, so that's why we're so far ahead. But but other than that, yeah, YouTube's going good. That'll probably come crashing to the floor. But anyway, other than that, man, redesigned a range. Got some guys coming out tomorrow to help me set it back up a little bit and get some input. And yeah, no, it's last couple of days been great. Can't complain. Can't complain.
Good deal, man. Good deal. Rob, what's been going on with you, man?
Nothing good. Been sick most of this last week, unfortunately. So, sinus thing. Yeah. Sinus thing, the stuff he had, water in my ear. So, like, your balance feels funny. Like, everything seems a little off. Headaches, that type of thing. So, it's, I think I made it through the worst, but it's still just lingering on for a little bit. Been a crappy week. Took a couple days off. I still even sick. I can't just sit around. So getting things done, not what I want to get done, but at least still making accomplishments even on my days off. So, but that's been it. Just trying to get better, honestly. So.
All right, man. Cool, man. Daniel, you had people shooting, man. What was going on today?
Oh, just had some friends come over after church. They had some new guns they wanted to shoot, so I was out there. One buddy was out there, and his wife. She brought over like four guns, and she's just not only just shooting all those. They shot my wife's guns, shot my guns, and we was just doing some blasting. And I tell you what, the girls have definitely showed a lot of improvement. A lot of improvement. They got the disease. They got the sickness. I guess that could be construed as a good thing. Saturday, the competition season started. I went out and shot an IDPA match Saturday, and I didn't get DQ'd, and I didn't finish last. But that was a good tune-up match for me. So I'll find out how well it's going to be as far as the 27th when I go shoot a USPSA match. You guys, if you ain't doing it, man, you need to do it. It's fun and it really improves your skill. But thanks for having me on tonight, brother.
Absolutely, brother. And you're 100% right. You got to get out there and shoot and put the time and effort in and keep that practice up. You'll notice it all day long if you ain't out there doing it.
Yeah. I'll put a little something in there with Daniel there. Just got a the packed Club 3 timer, and we've been using that the last week to kind of keep track of our splits and everything. And that little device has actually upped our game a little bit, just to get us to focus more on target, shoot, and everything. Because when you hear that beep, it's like game on. That's kind of the game on noise. So yeah, I totally believe that. So
it improves the heart rate.
Agreed. Agreed.
Then start putting in some barricades or some barrels and shooting around on that stuff and moving around. Oh yeah.
Yeah, that's funny that you say that, because we do have barrels and used tires, and I actually have a pickup truck out in the middle that we can shoot out of. So yeah, we've got different drills for different things, and just kind of rearranged everything this spring about the last 2 days in the evening. So yeah, it's been fun. So everybody's kind of re-energized and excited to start shooting again, since the whole range is completely different.
That's awesome, man. It brings up a good point. You know, a lot of indoor ranges and even outdoor ranges generally don't allow holster draw in general shooting. So for those out there that are not on their own property, that can shoot on their own property, what are some of the things that they can maybe look for where they can get out there and be able to do that holster practice?
Okay.
Or alternatives for them?
Some indoor ranges that'll have they'll have an IDPA match or a USPSA match that will allow you to go ahead and draw from the holster when they have those matches. And a lot of folks will shoot those during the winter time, but then during the summer, where you can go to ranges and they're setting up. I mean, this is for the folks that don't have their own place where they can shoot. That's where you're going to learn to do it. But besides that, you can do dry fire. You know, set up a target there in your room. Make sure your gun's unloaded, and that way you can have a timer and work on your draw and mag changes. Like that Ben guy. What's his last name? He made Grandmaster in less than shooting 2,000 rounds when he first started shooting. But the majority of his practice was all in his house, and he was just doing dry fire practice from the holster and the draw, working off a timer.
Yep, that's it, man. It's dry fire and just in general, just practice drawing from the holster is going to make a huge, huge difference. Understanding your grip, understanding your finger placement on the trigger, understanding what the recoil is going to do. All of that stuff makes a huge difference.
Yeah. Something like state lands or I forgot what they call it out west. But
BML.
basically public land, yeah, stuff
BLM.
like that is an
Yep.
option as well, because really there's no rules other than the state or federal rules of the place, but that's just regarding, not shooting over roads, the basic stuff, or near a dwelling, da 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 da. But basically, it's free game out there, so you
Mhm.
could, practice movements or cover, or if you're working with a partner, work together on, different things, whatever drills, and from my experience, people, if they do come by, they just leave you alone, so it's no problems. Obviously follow your local laws on what you bring out, because officers can stop and say hi. But I in New York, I've never really had a problem other than a wave as they were going down a road. So that's something that's, in my area it's free. So if you have targets or anything you want to make up, I mean, you can make kind of an event out of it, or a day or part of a day, whatever. Go out, set up, and have some fun for free, or practice something that you've been wanting to work on. Because that was one of the downfalls when I was in a club here, that they had a lot of those rules. Basically, couldn't draw from the holster, no rapid fire. What else was it? Basically, how the position you shot from, had to be at the bench or above. You couldn't go prone for any reason, or anything, draw from a knee or anything like that. So it was kind of a little disappointing in my opinion. Plus, it was a short range, and everything's on camera, and you're being watched, and there's all these rules. So kind of took a lot of beneficial practice, I would state, out of the equation, if you wanted to stay a part of the club. So uh, just another option besides dry fire is maybe look into state lands, or BLM, whatever it's called there, because you could find a spot that you can kind of make your own, and make a little walkthrough area, running gun, as they say, or experimentation, all for free. Well, gas and whatever it takes to get there. So
Right. And then Daniel, you got that other option too. What was that called again? What was it? The cool fire system.
Yeah, it's a system you can you put on, you put it on your firearm, but you run an app through your phone where you can, and the one there, Cool Fire, is runs off CO2, so you're actually getting the cycle. Your gun is cycling through, and that'll tell you what you're doing right. If you got too much finger, you're pushed not enough finger, and it's got a whole lot of good stuff on it. My wife has been using it here this all last winter.
Awesome, man. I'm glad that's still working out well.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I'll just kind of caveat on top of what Rob said. I've been blessed to have enough land to do what I can out here. I actually opened it up to a 200-yard range beside my house to do rifles and stuff now. The last couple of days doing, cutting trees and mowing and all that stuff. So, if you can find somebody with a range that isn't, I'll just say it, that isn't a prick, and you can get in there and get on some private land or a private range, to have more spontaneity. I'll put it that way. That's what I was gonna try to chime in on with Rob, because that's really fun when you can do the up and down, conceal, cover, run behind trees and stuff like that, and it just adds more fun to it, because you're not set just down this one narrow alley of, okay, well, you can't do this, you can't do that, you can't do this, you can't do that. So if you know somebody with some private land or a private range, or somebody's wanting to do something with some private land, yeah, help them out. So I've got 9 members now out here. So yeah, we have a lot of fun.
So do you guys do anything else to help your practice without having to touch a firearm?
Yeah, actually, when we first started, especially if it's somebody we don't know that wants to come in and practice with us, we will see how they draw from their holster, and we'll see how they carry their rifle, just to make sure they're safe. Just that's paramount. Make sure they've got eye pro, ear pro, all the stuff that somebody needs to be safe with. And
No,
other than that,
I meant,
sorry.
You're good. I meant in general, we're all trained. We all have various training, but are there things that you do yourself where you're not having a firearm in your hand in order to help keep your training proficient?
Yeah, I have a training system down here in the basement. It's a Manus, and that's what I use to keep proficient with it, especially during the wintertime. I just got it this winter, and I like it. So that's one of the things that I do personally. I don't know. I know there's a couple other guys in the group that have similar systems with their pistols. So yeah, some of them have it, some of them don't. But yeah, for me, it's the Manus.
Okay. Daniel, you do anything without having to actually physically touch a firearm to help keep your practice up?
Yes, I have a reloading press.
Yes, that too.
I reload a lot of bullets and then I reload them again.
Good answer. So one thing that I do that, and I get looked at sometimes funny, but even at work I'll do it too, is I'll walk around if nothing's going on, I'm not busy or whatever, and I got a minute, I'm walking around, you'll see my hands going for the draw position, pushing out, going down, draw position, pushing out, and just getting that motion and keeping that motion. And that's one thing that I do, and I get a lot of weird looks sometimes. I don't give a shit. I'm making sure I'm staying practiced up and I know what I'm doing.
Well, if you're wanting a little bit of an example, this one is just a holster, no gun in it. YouTube, okay? F off. Anyway, this We the People holster, level 2 retention holster, and this is the one that I carry with me most of the time in the truck. It's bedside because it's got the green dot, it's got the light and everything on it. This is my go-to gun right now when I'm out and about, unless I have to conceal carry. Practicing the draw to make sure that I'm proficient with it is getting that thumb down and drawing at the same time, and making sure that my 1911 does not strike the hood at the same time. And that's the problem I ran into at first, was making sure that that hood was coming down and a nice clean draw out of it, because I'm in and out of pickups, tractors, four-wheelers, side-by-sides and stuff. So that's the reason I got the level 2 retention holster. And I've been rolled off of four-wheelers between cows, just spontaneous stuff. And I didn't feel like a level 1 was going to do it when I was carrying. So yeah, practicing the draw out of this with having that extra step instead of just grabbing and pulling has been paramount for me to practice with this one. So whether it be out of leather or a, just a Kydex single retention holster. So yeah, practice going out of your holster.
Yeah, and the key to a level 2, or even if you get into a level 3, is trying to make it one motion.
Mm-hmm. Agreed, 100%. Because if you can't do that in one swift motion, then I don't know what to tell you on that. You just need to go back down the hill another level or something, because on that one, I'm pretty good with it now. So, but I've also been putting 40 rounds a night on it when I get home. So
And that's what it takes. It takes a lot of time behind it, because that's one of the big things that I've seen are people getting these holsters and expecting to be able to utilize them, but don't take the time and practice with them.
Exactly. And that's the one thing that I was really afraid of when I got that level 2, because, whether coming out of a leather one with the strap on the hammer with my 357, or, another Kydex single retention, it was just another thing to have to put into your mind to do before that gun can clear the holster and come up to full presentation and be able to shoot. So yeah, I had to practice. I had to practice probably about twice as much with that holster versus a leather or a single retention Kydex, just to get it drilled into my brain that no, you have to do this step with this holster. So because it was just something completely different to me.
Right.
So and I'm glad that I'm practicing like that. So
absolutely. And as someone that goes from different types of holsters, from shoulder carry some of the time to different styles of on the hip, or potentially IWB, however it is, you gotta take the time and practice with all of those. Got to. It's easy to get yourself in trouble if you don't. So Daniel, how many years ago was it I got this fucking gift card from a bunch of you people?
I don't know, 3 years ago, maybe?
I think it was like 4, wasn't it?
Dude, it was a while back.
Okay, so for everyone out there, just a heads up. I took a trip this past week. Had a little bit of a vacation. Took a little bit of time to relax, have some fun, see some of my brothers, and on the way back, I made a little pit stop, and I finally spent that gift card, folks.
About freaking time.
And for all of you that are wondering what I spent it on the biggest safe that I could afford.
Oh. Threw in that disclaimer. Hey, folks, I was trying to talk him into buying a safe that costs 3 times as much.
He was trying, but I could not afford to pay the difference on that.
But he got a nice safe.
It's a nice, decent sized safe. It'll keep me covered for a little bit. I'm sure I'll need another one down the road, but it'll keep me going for a little while. So we got some organizing to do, and then we got to call the store and figure out when they're delivering it. But
yeah,
after all these years, yes, I finally spend it.
They'll give you a call when they get everything, and they usually go out and make deliveries once a week. And
I gotta call her with the measurements. So
yeah, so and they'll probably have your freebie storage vault box by the time they give you a call.
Yeah. Yep. So I'm reorganizing the house right now because I got to move some stuff around so they can get it in here.
So how wide is your door?
I was close. It's About 31. I said 30.
31.
So
Okay.
I was close. Yeah. Safes are always, it's usually always a pain in the rear to try and find a decent one at a decent price. I happened to walk in when they actually had a decent sale going on, so I got a decent amount off of it.
Yeah, the factory reps were there too. You walked in right at the right time.
Right. It was the right time, and it was the perfect size for what I need for right now. So I couldn't complain. I mean, I didn't really even hesitate. I just walked up, looked at it, and like, yeah, that's probably it, and then grabbed her. And
Yeah.
that
That gal that was taking care of you there, she's actually the head of that department. So
Whoa. What store is this? He just walked up and grabbed her. Now she's taking care of him, and she's the head of the department.
yeah, that's
What? Are we talking about a gun safe, or is this
were
code or
you
something?
eating a salad?
yeah.
No, I'm just making sure we're on the same page here.
It was the Finn. Okay. 4 years ago, a whole bunch of people here, not only just myself, but in the chat, in the side chat, went and got Scotsman a gift card for the Finn, and he finally got off his butt and bought and spent the money. So he went in there, had a good sale going on on safes. The factory reps were also there, and the gal that was the head of the department of because Finn they got multiple stores. They told Cabela's that no, we'll buy you, when Cabela's was trying to buy them, and they just said no, we'll buy you out. But yeah, they took care of him, and for delivery, what was it, $125 or $150 delivered?
150, and then there was a surcharge for fuel because they got to go a little bit further. I figured there was gonna be.
Yeah. But letting them push them big old safes and unload it, that's, trust me, 150, $175 saves your back.
Oh, trust me, there's no way in hell I'd be able to move it and get in here myself. Ain't no way in hell. Getting out of here whenever I leave here is going to be a bitch.
Get these guys' name and number, so if you ever got to move and stuff, they can go ahead and get it moved in for you.
Yeah. If I ever have to move at this point, it would probably require some sort of kind of moving company. Which is sad because I used to be able to throw everything in the back of my truck and go.
Hi, Val.
What's going on, Val?
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and Daniel.
How you doing, man?
Hanging in there. What you guys up to?
Nothing.
I hear you've been
Spending
talking
money
about.
that I ain't got.
Oh yeah, well, join the club. I hear you've been talking about the practicing. Anybody invested in that virtual thing, like I have?
I was figuring you were going to jump on and talk to us because you made a couple videos about that.
Oh, that thing is awesome. Let me hang on. Let me go grab the thing.
Okay, he's got us sitting on all suspense now.
Yeah, you got to be careful where you put them at. The original safe I wanted to get years ago, I found for a fantastic price. But at the time, I was living in an apartment, and they had a weight rating. Then I was 600 pounds above the weight rating, so they wouldn't let me put it in there. So I had to buy the small safe. But this time, we got the big safe.
And if you don't have a safe, I mean, a good size safe can 1 or 2 guns will cost you, buying 1 or 2 guns is the same price that you're going to put into a safe. So if you got more than a couple guns, there's no reason not to have one. Theft protection, fire protection.
Yeah, and be careful to look at the ratings especially on their fire ratings, because they're not all created equal. I was on a podcast about a month ago, and they kind of broke down how they determine the fire rating on the inside before guns actually go to hell inside there, or personal property, paper, personal files, stuff like that. So guys got to do his research on that stuff. Just make sure you just do your due diligence.
As far as Razor's comment that he had up there about getting 2 sizes bigger, just buy the biggest safe they've got.
Yep. If you can afford it, buy the biggest one you can afford. That's all it comes down to. And I'll tell you that all day long, because you're gonna fill it, and you're gonna fill it quick.
Mm-hmm.
When they say it's a 24 gun safe, you ain't getting 24 guns in there. If you put a scope on it and a scope on this, or you have this attached to this, and all the rest of it, you might get 10. You ain't getting 24.
I'm personally not impressed with the average safe. So I've looked at them a few times. I've had to open them in the past for other people. Like, in my opinion, it's just not worth the money. Anybody damn determined that's halfway decent in the trades is going to be able to get in the average safe with no problem. Is it going to make a little noise? Sure, it could, depending which way you go. But on that aspect, information is really what's going to get you in. How much time do you have? I personally don't think they're worth the money in most cases. I think it's more of a feel-good thing. You can say, I've got one. The average crackhead's not going to bust into it because they're just, retarded, looking for a quick smash and grab. A lot of the fires, I've seen evidence where stuff's burned up or it gets water damage. Again, this is the medium, safes. I'm sure there's higher end safes, but I would almost state you're better off investing that money into like a safe room, like almost like an armory, a block room, steel walls, bars, whatever,
And if you own your own place and you can afford to do that, 100% absolutely do that. But for the average Joe, having a safe is probably the easier option.
I've seen safes that have been through fires where they total outside. I mean, you're talking the outside of the safe is crispy critter, but the inside of the safe, spotless, untouched.
Yeah, some can do it, but just in general, the average one I've seen around, I don't think it's worth the money. It's a glorified damn storage box. Like usually the door is thicker than the whole rest of it. Like I don't want. I got a lot more information, but I don't want to publicly put it out there so people just learn how to break into safes. But a lot of them have factory known things. We'll just put it that way. Where if you spend some time investing into things, it's not, it's not the bright. I don't know, but just my opinion, I guess.
No, you've got a point on that, Rob, because there are. Especially if somebody doesn't put in their own code, or somebody knows the everybody remembers the Liberty Safe debacle back in the day. It was.
I don't.
Yeah.
About it.
What's that, Jamie?
I said I don't remember that. Tell us about it.
Now listen, guys. None of us live in a kind of freaking house that the Ocean 11 is going to be breaking in, and you're going to have a safe cracker over there or whatever. So,
right.
I mean, I'd say every one of us, should have a freaking safe. It's absolutely worth the money. Rob is just a cheap ass motherfucker. He's trying to justify why he never spent money on one. That's
I wonder when that was going to come up.
You know, that's the only goddamn reason. He needs a justification why he never spent it. Because of this, because blah blah blah. I can build a cardboard box, it's gonna be stronger. It's bullshit.
Well,
you gotta have you gotta have it locked up.
Hey,
For
Val.
once, I have
he-
to agree with Val because he's not wrong. Look, Rob's a salad eater. We're all meat eaters. Who you gonna agree with? A salad eater or a meat eater?
If Rob would go ahead and buy some CZs and some Colts, it would be worth it for him to buy a safe. But he's cheap.
I don't think the cheap cuts it.
No. I love you, Val. I really do. The original YouTube instigator.
The average safe has different ways that, yes, if you know what you're doing, you can technically get in there pretty fast. Yes, I agree with that to a certain degree.
Yep.
However, the average Joe doesn't have a clue. And the whole point of it is a deterrent. Now, as far as the fire rating stuff goes, yes, I will agree with Pat. Make sure you're looking at the fire ratings and checking that kind of stuff. And the companies on how they test those things, they're not all the same. Liberty is one of the only companies that actually starts the timer once it gets to a certain degree of temperature. Every other company starts the timer as soon as the fire starts.
Right.
So when you get into something like a Liberty, you're getting the actual time limit from when it says it gets to X amount of degrees and then goes on. So it's taking that in account the time it takes for that fire to build up.
Anything is better than
the other thing you have to look at is how far are you from the fire department in your local area.
Anything's better than having it locked up in a closet.
Right. Where is your local fire department in relation to you? So like mine's about 15 minutes down the road. So I know they're going to be here fairly quickly, you know.
Yeah.
You don't understand. You don't understand where Rob lives. If there's a fire, the SWAT team needs to go first, and then the fire department goes.
Who gives a shit where Rob lives?
Damn, Val.
The fuck is too cheap to invest in anything. Who gives a shit?
Rob, man.
Kudos to Val. But no, the only thing I was getting after, and I know we're all ribbing at each other, we're all having fun here, is just, even if it doesn't have fire protection in it, like what I've got, I'm not going to show it off camera because it's home built. And yeah, good luck because you're going to need a acetylene torch to get through it. 15 minutes at the most. So, but that's why I have German Shepherds and landmines out front. So, just FYI.
Oh, you got some cows there, huh?
Oh yeah, the cows will herd you straight towards the police officers. Have you not seen the videos?
Got some cows there to drop in the landmines.
Yeah. Technically those kind of landmines, but anyway. Anyway, yeah, just if a guy's going to do any kind of safe or anything like that, even if it's just the bare minimum. No fire retardant or anything like that. Having some way of locking your firearms up is a good idea, but if your family and everything's trained around it, it's not that big of a deal. But when you have people come over and kids, especially kids, then I would definitely recommend looking into safes and stuff like that. So, it's all dependent on the situation. I mean, it really is. I mean, everybody's different.
All right. Did you grab what you were going to grab, Val?
Yeah, here's the controller, right? This is, they have a few different ones now. This is molded after the staccato. So this is the bottom part that you buy. This is on the top. That's the actual control from the virtual reality thing. And you kind of put it in, and your trigger actually actuates one of the buttons, and then your mag release actuates another button. So you get to experience the whole thing. You can drop the mag, then you smack the bottom of the gun, it'll reload it. It's just you don't get the recoil in your hands, but you get the recoil in your virtual reality goggles. So the gun, what you see is what you would see shooting a real gun. So I'd say probably anywhere from 80-85% realistic as a real competition. And then they have a couple other scenario where you can shoot like having a fun on the range or whatever. But this is like one of the most perfect tools for that makes a dry fire so much gooder. It just makes it fun. You put the goggles on, you can set up the scenario, whatever you decide to do, run a classifier, do it 10, 15 minutes, 20 minutes a day. It's just because you feel like you're actually spending time at the range. They make holsters for it, so you can draw from a holster. The only thing I would like to see maybe in the future to have the actual magazine either drawable or being able to put the actual magazine in, because you might develop a bad habit just smacking the bottom, not going all the way to your belt to grab the magazine. That's what I kind of noticed. But other than that, I mean, obviously, trigger pull is not what it would be on a single action gun, but I'm absolutely in love with this. I just wish I had more time to spend on this because I'm rusty as hell. I went to competition today and it was a freaking train wreck. But I would say you can find a Meta 2 used for probably $200 on Facebook Marketplace. One of these will cost you $300, and the actual software is like $14 a month. So that's the only drawback, you gotta pay monthly. But other than that, I'd say it's definitely worth the money. You get it back in a couple of months, just cost savings on ammo.
Yeah, you could buy a used Glock, some ammo, and a membership with that kind of money.
Yeah, but how long it's gonna last you that? How much ammo are you gonna buy? 1,000 rounds? 2,000 rounds? With this, you're gonna go through 10, 15,000 rounds in 3 months, no problem. So it'll pay for itself just on the ammo. So it's absolutely worth the money. And you don't have to worry about the noise. You don't have to worry about going to the range. You don't have to worry about the weather's being bad. If you have big enough yard, you can set up a big stage in your yard where you can run around just like on a regular competition. If you only have your living room, you pick whatever's limited to the space that you have. So this is definitely worth the money. Next time I'm gonna come up to Binghamton, I'm gonna bring one of these and strap this on your noggin, and you're gonna thank me later.
Those stories and more tonight on 60 Minutes.
Who's got a shit running in the background?
Somebody's watching 60 Minutes.
Not me. 60 Minutes went to hell about 15 years ago.
Okay, here's the thing. Let me defend Rob just a little bit. These safes are constructed in a manner of a sheet of steel, drywall, and another sheet of steel. That's all they are. My safe has an electronic keypad, and I have two others that are just gun cabinets. And my safe is the brand name is Fortress, and it's supposed to hold like 28, 32 guns. I'm lucky if I can get 10 or 12 in there, plus the pistols. But basically, a gun safe is a sheet of steel, a sheet of drywall, and then another sheet of steel, and a very good lock. And you've got these bars that go in that lock everything up. Mine is rated for 30 minutes at 1,200 degrees. Dave Thorzak's put up there earlier that most house fires burn for an hour. I don't know if it's going to burn right there where my safe is at 1,200 degrees for an hour. I would certainly hope not, but that's what you're looking at. And more than anything else, I think, let's face it, guys, locks keep honest people out of your stuff, basically. If a thief wants to come in and steal your stuff, like one of the guys posted up there earlier that he can break in any safe in 2 minutes. That may well be, but locks are to keep honest people out of your stuff. Fences make good neighbors, right? Yeah, that you understand that concept. But yeah, man, I think the important thing is that we keep people in our homes and in our families that don't have any business messing with our guns from doing so.
All right. Now, Edward Petty's comment about the weakest part of the safe is the floor. Well, that's why when you get these safes, they're built to where you need to have these bolted down into a cement floor. And after you've tightened up the bolts and nuts, you weld the nuts on there so they just can't be turned off. I mean, don't make it easy for people.
You know what? If somebody's gonna go through all that trouble breaking into my freaking safe, taking all the bolts from the cement, at that point he deserves to have whatever the fuck is in the safe and the goddamn safe and whatever else is in my fucking house.
Yeah, your average crackhead is not going to want to expend that much energy.
All I'm saying, the guy that can break into the safe in such a short time, he's not breaking into your freaking house. He's gonna try to break into Jeff Bezos' house or somebody that actually has some goddamn money. You know, like
Right,
somebody breaks into my house looking for the money, I'm gonna help him.
There's a lot of things that go into breaking into one of these kinds of safes, especially one if it has a lot more of the bolts on it, you know, with the bars and all the rest of it. You also got to really kind of pay attention to what you're looking at when you're looking at these safes because, for example, a lot of the cost on some of them will be because the fire rating goes higher. Again, if you really don't need that higher fire rating, why spend all that extra money? You know, you got to take some of these things into account and really define what's going to work best for you, bearing in mind that it is basically nothing but a deterrent. If they're determined to get in there, yes, they'll get in there. It's going to take them a while, but they'll get in there.
Yeah. Is your safe that you're looking at buying have the drywall in it between the steel plates, or does it have concrete or fire brick between the plates?
Patriot in the Dark has a good point. To say it makes it easy, it could be humidity control as well. So you're kind of controlling the environment or where your guns are stored at. So,
well, and that's the big thing. You got them in one place so you know where you're at. You're not having to worry about them sitting out. And that's one of the big things for me right now is I have a few different things that are not necessarily located where they should be located. Simply because I don't have the room. So, you know, you do what you got to do in order to make sure things are safely secured away and taken care of. And humidity is a big part. You know, especially where Jamie's at, where we're at, humidity gets pretty high out here. And I didn't really know a whole lot really about humidity until I moved to Georgia. You know, humidity is not a huge thing back home, so I didn't really know shit about humidity until I moved to Georgia. And then I woke up one day, I went and looked at one of my guns. I'm like, holy shit, what the hell happened? Fucking humidity happened.
Life happened.
So yeah, and then with the bigger safes in general, you'll have access ports that are put there so you can put in the plug-in dehumidifiers and stuff like that. So you ain't got to worry about having to recharge stuff, this, that, the other.
Put all that stuff in there to make you a lazy gun owner. Because, you should just put your hands on your guns now and then, molest them, clean them down, stay familiar with them. But now you can just plug something into the wall and forget about them. Shame.
Hold on. All right, bitch.
You should be ashamed of yourself.
No. Now you're trying to pick a fight.
Ding, 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 ding. Round one. Fight.
You're trying to pick a fight here because now you're saying that we don't go and touch your guns. We just stick them in a brick and call it good. That's not what happened, man.
You're not talking sweet love songs to it or nothing anymore.
I'm sorry, but
I got a new one. Bye.
With a lot of the ones I have, yes, I say sweet nothings to them.
Listen, Rob only has the plastic fantastic. Freaking M&Ps are glass. So,
that's right. If he was to go out and buy himself a nice, beautiful Smith & Wesson blue steel or nice nickel plated or stainless steel, he'd know what I'm talking about, man.
Yeah.
Listen, you're talking to Rob. He doesn't buy nice things because nice things cost money.
So, what are you going to do? You're going to lock it up and just to say you have it and never take it out and let it stretch its legs?
Of course you take it out, but I also want to make sure I'm not going to buy a fucking Ferrari and park it on the street in Binghamton near your house. I'm going to have a fucking garage for it, right? So same thing with a nice gun.
A nice gun, when you're not shooting it, you're going to lock it up because you don't want that brother-in-law, uneducated brother-in-law, getting a hold of it, scratching the crap out of it and destroying it, and not taking care of it.
Or like Daniel, for example, you go over, you hang out with Daniel, you set it down on your truck bed, you go take a piss for a minute, and bam, it disappears. Where the fuck did it go, man? You gotta watch these people, man. You never know.
At least I let Jamie, am I lying? At least I let you know if you ever left that 586 laying around, that sucker's gone.
I'm not saying nothing, Daniel. I had a Smith & Wesson 27 in my possession for over a year that I didn't know how got to my house.
And he blamed me for it.
Well, you probably did it.
I didn't leave it at your house.
You're one other guy.
He left it at your house.
No, he didn't. It got dragged to
You're dragging me into this. I ain't been down to Jamie's. Pointing at me and all this shit.
No, we had a certain person stick their hand in my bag and remove it.
Who did that?
No, we didn't have that. We had a good buddy packing stuff up in a hurry to get home and put the wrong gun in the wrong bag. That's all that happened, and it was safe and it was returned. No harm, no foul.
Yeah, there's no madness here.
So Jamie, did you whisper sweet nothings to that gun all the time? It was living in your house rent free.
Let me tell you something. When you got something like that don't belong to you in your house, you're oiling it up every 6 weeks where it needs it or not, right?
It's like, man, if somebody says, something happens to this gun, I'm gonna get an ass chewing or something.
No, it's like I'm gonna have to replace it, and I don't know that I have the funds to do so. So
right. Yeah. Well, that's kind of like the. Speaking of safes, I have a safe queen, and at least a couple of you have seen that one. That great big Smith that I've got sitting in there that's ported and everything, and not mine. And I'm about like Jamie. About every 4 to 6 weeks, it comes out and it gets oiled up, lubed, messed with, a couple shots, cleaned, and just because it's not mine. And I love that gun. I wish I could have that gun.
Go ahead, Rob.
I was just saying that's the treatment all your guns should get, whether they're yours, not yours. I mean, unless it's a Glock, then whatever. But other than that, you should keep hands on, like If you don't do it for a while, breaking a shotgun down, you might get stumped for a second. Which piece went in first, this or that? Like, it's when it's your gear, you should, try to stay familiar with it, especially when you're talking your EDCs, anything like that, or home defense guns, rifles. Yeah, you got to be able to work through them without thinking about it. It's an extra.
I agree, but if you had to guess right now, Rob, if you were forced to make a guess right now, how many firearms do you think you own?
If I'm honest, I can't be, because I don't publicly announce that number for government and all other reasons. But I think I've shown about 7 online.
Yeah. Well, I can't fault you there.
Well, see, yeah, that the thing is, the more of them that you own, the more time that's going to take up as far as rubbing, oiling, fondling, taking range.
Oh yeah.
And that's my point. Not that I'm trying to get you to disclose information that.
Here's an easy way of putting it. Here's an easy way of putting it. I have a 24.
If you own 10 guns, that's one thing. If you own 30 to 50, that's a different thing.
I have a 24 gun safe.
And my response to that would be that if you know exactly how many guns you own right now, you don't have enough.
I know exactly how many I own, because right now I don't own any.
Right, Daniel?
Yep.
I have no idea now how many guns I've got.
Look, here's the thing. If you know how many you have off the top of your head, those are amateur numbers.
I got none.
Well,
Voting
you are
accident.
professional amateur.
I got none. All my guns are sitting at the FFL for another freaking year.
But anyway, yeah, no, I'm with Rob on that. Yeah, y'all have seen some of them, and some of you have seen them in the back room, especially that sweet little number lever action, the original gallery. But other than that, man, honestly, I don't know how many guns I have. I really don't. Between the Milsurps, moderns, lever action, all that stuff. But getting back to the point of actually grabbing onto a gun and handling it, firing it, and everything, I try to cycle through everything at least once a year. Because other than that, everything stays, especially my Milsurps. Got some Mosins, got a, I'll do a spoiler alert, a Garand coming in here pretty soon. All that stuff stays bagged up. Just so that way it's protected from humidity and all that stuff. So I found a company that makes good sleeves that you can just put it right in plastic.
That's another thing too. You can use a silicone case. I did a video years ago showing you how to spray down and make your own silicone case if you wanted to do that, and just treat it every 6 months or a year, depending on how much you spray on there and what it is and your humidity levels. If you're in a really high humidity place, take it out every 6 months, spray it down, put it back. It'll help take care of that and make sure stuff's staying good.
Yep. And if you can't get through and clean your guns at least once every 6 months, you better just pick the ones you're going to keep. And when they have a gun auction, take them up and have them sold. And that way you can buy something new that you're going to shoot. Or
call me, call Daniel, and, I'll help you sell them, or I'll help you buy them, or whatever,
Or me. I'm always in the market. No, agreed, Daniel. I don't know. It's just, at least my opinion. If you can't put hands on a gun at least once a year, clean it up, fire it, and just make sure everything's good. Check it over. The wood, wood or polymer, doesn't matter. Just make sure it's not rusting or anything like that, and just keep it preserved. And I have a week in the middle of the summer where I take all my Mosins out, and I've got the actual prescriptions that are supposed to go through it, and I probably put 10 to 15 rounds through each Mosin and have a blast with them. Just having fun, slapping steel or putting it on paper, or hitting explosive targets, something fun, and absolutely enjoy them at least once a year, because the day that I don't pull those old girls out from World War II and have some fun with them at least once a year, I might as well just get rid of them. So yeah, I'm kind of in the same camp that you are, Daniel. If you can't get them out and enjoy them at least once a year and have fun with them, then you might as well just get rid of them.
I've passed some guns on, because hey, there's absolutely nothing wrong with them. And I know, so one person hunts, and during muzzleloader season, they didn't have a proper inline, and it's like, oh, hey, boom, here's this inline. Okay, and you married my sister, and she needs something where to be shooting pistols, started getting into it more. Gave her a couple Rugers. So, I mean, give them this. I mean, you got some people that you love. You just let them take them out and use them. That's what they're for. Instead of just sitting there collecting dust and rustling away.
Yeah. No, I completely agree with you on that, Daniel. I mean, if somebody's going to use them, let them be used.
As long as they're not children that are just going to trash them.
Right.
Let them rust.
But anyway, fellas, I got to cut out. I got to go check on cattle and everything. So thanks for having me on, brother Scotsman. And we will see you guys further on down the trail.
All right, man. Appreciate you, brother.
Bye-bye.
Y'all have a good one.
Bye-bye. We said bye-bye.
Hey, next Tuesday
Bye-bye.
I gotta do a giveaway for the Microtech knife that none of you bastards came in, other than Gene from Reloading from the Hot Pot and another guy. I forgot his channel name. So I'm trying to get them both to come on a chat on Tuesday night at 8:00. So any of you want to join in, let me know. I don't know. I got to figure out how I'm going to draw, since it's only 50-50. I only got 2 entries, but
wait, you've actually made videos?
Yeah. Yes.
I must have missed that one.
Yeah, you did miss that one. I made 2 of them, 2 or 3 of them, and none of you wanted a nice knife. Gene was the only one who actually took his time and did a video response, and so was the other guy. So I shut it down, and the 2 of them are gonna battle out who's gonna win the Microtech, and then we got some 2nd and 3rd place prizes. So I'm gonna do that Tuesday night at 8:00. I put a link in the chat.
Let's do a 3rd-party coin flip.
What?
Do a 3rd-party coin flip. Somebody flip a coin.
If both of them gonna show up, I'm just gonna have them do rock, paper, scissors.
Why don't you do? Why don't you have them do Itsy Bitsy Spider?
See which one stays sober the longest.
Wow, that'll be me.
Whoever makes it through Itsy Bitsy Spider first wins.
I don't know. As far as the sober goes, that'll be me.
Whichever one can outdrink you gets the knife.
Oh, anybody can outdrink me now. I'll have 2 drinks and I'll be under the table.
That's right. You ain't drunk in a long time. How much weight have
Nope.
you lost?
Not that much. I gained a little bag. Hitting gym all the time. I gained some muscle. I mean, I got a little dead bod I'm trying to get rid of, but I mean, I'm hovering, around 240, 242.
Oh,
I mean,
okay.
I came down. I was 270. So I definitely
It just looks
came
like
down.
your head is a lot smaller now than what it
I had a
used to be.
haircut. That's why. I got a haircut.
I don't think that's why.
I used to have a big old fat head. Now it's skinnier.
It's the camera.
Look how far he is from the camera. That's why. Look how far away he is.
It's the camera.
The camera's hiding it all.
All right, who's coming to GunCon in Ohio? How far is that from you, Daniel?
An hour.
Oh, all right.
I hate Cleveland with a passion. I hate Cleveland with a passion. Are you going to drive up there, or are you going to fly in then just rent a car?
I think I'm gonna just fly. I was hoping come like a day before, maybe spend a day on the range with Chris, maybe you or some shit like that. I don't know. I haven't really made the plans. I was gonna drive.
If you fly in, just shoot on down here, because if you go, you'll probably go to Crawford County, for their gun range there. That's where I go shoot competitions at. Really nice range there. So
I don't know. They have like a range day, and then they have the actual gun con. So anybody that can actually make it for $50, I'd say come. It's worth it. It's not like a SHOT Show. SHOT Show's too commercialized and it's hard to get in. It's you're gonna be hard pressed to find an event like this.
When is that, Bald?
June 21st, I think. Hold on. June 28th. June 28th, 10 to 6. So, yeah, come by. It would be nice to meet some viewers, somebody else, not just Daniel. Maybe go have a bite to eat or something. So, yeah.
I got a funny feeling that's the same weekend as something else, and I won't be able to make it.
Well, then freaking cancel something else, moron.
Fuck you.
No, you're not that pretty.
What, you got a date on the 28th there, Scotsman?
If I remember right, June 28th is the Scottish Highland Games out this way.
Oh my God! Are you
so you're
serious?
gonna go look at a bunch of guys wearing dresses that don't wear underwear?
I was actually.
That ain't a fucking dress, asshole.
Throwing big poles.
I was gonna say June 28th, Scotsman probably having a sex change. So operation. So that's close.
Fuck you too, you bitch.
Listen, you're gonna be running around looking at some freaking guys in skirts showing the bare naked asses and balls, rather than
you have no fucking idea what happened. So fuck off.
Tell us how you really feel about it.
Listen, what kind of 9-finger skinny Scottish bitch like you do at a thing like that?
I can do a lot of shit. Thank you very fucking much. Jesus, motherfuckers.
I'm sorry. All I heard was wham.
It's like you're trying to get him to skip a family reunion, man. Like he can't do that.
You know that pole they grab and they throw that pole? That's just that's just the Scottish family tree.
What?
There ain't no branches.
I bought the tickets for this like fucking 3 months ago. They're not cheap.
Listen, you can get drunk anytime.
He's getting back in touch with his roots. It's a Scottish
here's the thing of it, man. Look, it's very rare I get to spend any time with people from my nation, and there are a lot of people that show up that actually are from my nation. So I get to spend a little bit of time with people out there, hang out, drink some whiskey, and have a little bit of fun. Hear some bagpipes. You got a fucking problem with that? Fuck you.
I hate to break it to you, but there's no such thing as Scottish nation. You're fucking UK motherfuckers.
Fuck you.
Per capita, Scotland has the highest violent crime and murder rate of anywhere else.
Because of people like fucking Bald and Curious.
No,
listen, the whole Scotland died with a freaking Wallace.
Redheads and whiskey. What do you expect?
Oh boy.
Hey, Bama, there's a whole nation between Slovakia and Russia, so that's where the war is going on right now. Just FYI, you probably guys don't know, but Czechoslovakia was never part of Russia. Unlike Scotland was pretty much part of England their entire goddamn life.
Fuck off, you fucking
What
wanker.
are you talking about? Czechoslovakia was part of the biggest thing of the whole communist bloc.
Was never part of Russia.
The Soviet Union.
Not Soviet Union. Was never part of it.
Czechoslovakia was a big whole thing.
No, it was its own autonomous state. Always was.
It was part of the Third Reich during World War II.
Well, actually, it wasn't. Slovakia was autonomous state. Czech Republic was a part of Third Reich.
Go ahead, Rob.
They split the country back then.
I'm just laughing at you guys here.
I mean, look, your country's been split up how many fucking times?
At least there's a country to be split up.
You're trying to call my country. You're trying to call my country out. Get the fuck out of here.
Scotland was never fucking Scotland. You were always part of fucking British Empire.
Get the fuck out of here. You don't even know where the fuck you come from.
You even speak English like fucking British. Just a little different accent. That's it. We have our own fucking language.
We have our own fucking language too. You want to hear some of it, motherfucker?
And not to mention you run around in skirts. How can anybody take you?
Not a skirt, because we're fucking men, you little bitch.
Yeah, potato. Like, how can anybody take you seriously?
Hey, don't be jealous of the fact that women love it when one of us walks up with a kilt on, and they go, "Is it real? Is that really what happens?" Yeah, that's how a true Scotsman wears a fucking kilt.
Yeah, did you ever see those Scottish women? Kind of hard to say if they're men, so you know what? You're not winning the argument over there either.
Oh, I'm winning the fucking argument because I'm not even arguing with you. I don't have to argue with you. I know what happens. Fuck, you go ask Heath. Fucking Alan fucking wears a kilt all the time. Ask him, he'll tell you.
Alan can get laid with the whorehouse with a handful of
women fucking love that shit.
I don't know how that's going to work for you now that woke has gone broke.
Well, the Scottish were never dragged into the woke thing, I don't think. Or kilts. Maybe if it's like a rainbow kilt.
I don't know. They've been dragged into something because they're wearing fucking skirts.
It's not a fucking skirt, you little bitch. Jeez.
Hey, listen. If it quacks like a duck and it looks like a duck.
I'm pretty sure it ain't quacking like a fucking duck, is it?
Listen, it's open on the bottom. Your balls are freezing. So they ain't no fucking pair of pants.
My balls are enjoying natural airflow.
Yeah.
Don't be fucking jealous of my natural AC.
I don't see skiers wearing fucking kilts.
When you can wear a kilt through an entire Ohio winter, then you can come and defend the kilt.
Is that a fucking challenge?
Yes.
I mean that it's like that's going to work, everything else, and you must
wear
a traditional kilt.
You know I can't wear that at work.
Why?
Because I work around machinery, so you know I'm not allowed to wear that at work.
Why is that?
Not just that, they want him to shave.
And that ain't never gonna fucking happen either.
You didn't wear a mask when they required it, so what's the problem?
There ain't one.
He's afraid the machinery can grab his skirt and whatever's underneath it.
Dude, I'd happily wear a kilt to work all the fucking time. It gets hot as fucking shit in there. I would happily wear one to work. It's fucking 80, 90 degrees in there. Sometimes hotter.
Oh, that's why you're so skinny? You sweat it all off?
I sweat my ass off quite a bit. Yeah, I do, because I work for a fucking living.
What do I do? Jerk off for a living, asshole?
I don't know, because apparently you've lost quite a little bit of weight there, fucker. I mean, your head's a little skinny and shit, and I don't know. I don't know, man.
Yeah, I had to get in shape for my OnlyFans account.
Yeah, I'm not surprised.
He's probably dating a liberal.
Probably.
He won't bring her around.
He ain't saying nothing.
What? Oh, I'm dating no, she's actually Republican. She doesn't like Trump, but she's a Republican.
So she's I say I'm a Republican, but I'm not a Republican. I got you.
Yeah, she don't like Trump, but she's a Republican.
Yeah, well, some people don't like him, so she's got different qualities.
I bet she does.
I think all of us have certain issues with Trump about things that we like, things that we don't like about him.
I like him better than a normal politician. Normal politicians are nothing but total crooks. How do they become millionaires on their salary?
Yeah, makes me wonder too.
My thing of it's always been, and I think a lot of you guys agree, is the proof's in the pudding. So when he stops talking the game and the game actually happens and shit starts going down where it's supposed to go down, then I'll believe it. But until then, I kind of sit back and I just wait and I watch.
Let's go back to guns. So here's my dilemma, right? So every time when I drive for a long distance, I like to listen to Spotify, like some of the podcasts, or so now I got this show that I've been listening to, and it's called Dead America. But basically, it's a zombie apocalypse in the whole world, some terrorist attack, and whatever. Besides the point. So there's like a whole, and it kind of makes me wonder, right? So let's say shit like that really happens, okay? And there's a whole full-blown zombie apocalypse. All right, let's get past the first few initial days. Let's say you survive, because obviously, if something happens overnight, you don't know. You're not gonna just start shooting people because they, trying to bite you, and you don't know if it's real or not. So it takes a minute. Anyway, so now there's actual freaking zombies running around and all that shit. Like, would you be like going for your 9mm or your AR, or because I'd be grabbing bricks and bricks of freaking 22 and my 22 pistol and 22 rifle. Like, that's gotta be the best thing for the goddamn zombies.
Suppressed, where it's quiet.
What kind of zombies are these? Are these like the Romero zombies, the ones that are all slow and barely moving?
Well,
Or
what it is, when you get bitten, initially first couple of days you're running, so you're fast, and then you slow down. But it doesn't matter.
Are they from New York? Are they from California? I mean,
No,
where are they from?
Are these zombies that wear kilts?
There's one movie there with Will Smith where the zombies are all running quick as hell, almost super strength. You know, what kind of zombies are you talking about? Because that make a difference too. Do you got time to line up shots, or is this one of these things?
You gotta take a headshot regardless.
You got time?
Well, you got time. I don't know. Depends on the situation. That's besides the point. I mean, you gotta line up the shot, whether you're shooting 22 or 9mm. You still gotta line up the shot.
I don't know. There's different types of zombies, so I think there would be a difference in what you would prefer.
My point is, it's a lot easier to carry 500 rounds of freaking 22 than it is a 500 rounds of 9mm or 223.
It's a lot easier to carry a fucking baseball bat.
Well, that's true, but if there's a mob of them and you need to dispatch them,
Wait a minute. A true Scotsman would use his claymore.
Well, yeah, if you got a sword, use it. I'm just saying, for the average Joe out there that doesn't have a claymore, yeah, there's a baseball bat.
Do they group together? Do they stalk together, or is this like a random? Oops, I'm in range.
No, this is like a every zombie movie, Walking Dead kind of scenario where they group together like a mob. The sounds attract them and all that, and when they freshly killed and turn, they fairly fast, and eventually they get slow. But they can group up thousands and thousands of them together.
Well, unless there's a nuclear accident that causes them to, what's that word where they change and they become now super zombies?
Yeah, that I'm not talking about that. I'm talking like a serious scenario right here. Come on.
Well, that is serious.
People at that point.
Well, this is the problem. What you got to worry about is not zombies but people. So that's where you would probably need a 9mm 223 against a people. But against the zombies, like why waste freaking 5.56? Load them up all with goddamn 223. Give every soldier 15-22, with a 30-round magazines and go to town.
This is the thing. All of this stuff about zombies and all that crap, when a person's dead, they're dead. There ain't nothing going to bring them back to life. So I think
you don't know that.
I do know that.
How do you know that?
I'm convinced of that. Okay. The body dies, the spirit goes to the afterlife. All right. This is the thing. And what you said about it comes down to people. This is the thing that I think gets because I had some time during COVID. I actually thought about this stuff. So what if what people are referring to as zombies are actually living people with terminal diseases and they know they're dying?
Okay. So why are they eating flesh?
That's a much more realistic scenario than.
Well, are they trying to kill us, Jamie?
It's like a form of rabies.
Well, it's like this. They may be coming after stuff that you have that you need to survive.
Well,
but they're still alive.
It's pretty simple. They're already terminal. You take them out and you fucking take care of it.
Well, you got to take care of your life and your property and your family. That's not an option. That's a must. That's unspoken. But yeah, I've often wondered about that. Is what if what we're actually talking about is not this fantasy world of dead people walking around and they're undead and dead at the same time, and a much more realistic approach to this is people that are living but with terminal diseases and they're desperate.
Okay, or an EMP or a coronal mass ejection that it totally knocks out our power grid, which would take 5 to 20 years to get the power grid going back in the United States. In the first 12 months, of an EMP, over 90% of the people in the U.S. would be dead.
Actually, did you see that?
Moving around. Time out. Rob was trying to say something. Rob, go ahead.
Sorry, I don't even remember, but I'd throw in on Daniel's comment. It might probably take longer because of the tariffs, but we'd be able to build them here, right?
As build as far as the big things on the poles out there.
Yeah, the transformers and stuff.
Transformers. The transformers are no longer built in the U.S. They're built overseas.
And they're custom for each fitting, basically, as well. You can't just make a universal one. In most senses, where the big transfer plants are. So, they're definitely a sensitive item that would have to be shipped, and it's difficult to ship even now, just due to the size and weight on our roads and stuff when everything is normal. So, I mean, his point stands for sure. So,
That's just one aspect.
Say Jamie, though.
There used to be in my town a General Electric medium transformer plant where we made transformers. It's out of business, and the reason they closed it down was cause of PCB was getting into the environment.
Okay, and now prescription drugs, over 90% of all prescription drugs are now made in China.
Yep. Did you see that Netflix movie series with De Niro, The 0 Day? Anybody saw that?
No.
I hate De Niro, but this was actually a pretty cool show and pretty eye-opening. And what happened? There was some kind of cyber attack, and they shut down everything for like 3 minutes, and what the chaos, like 3,000 people died and all that. So but now we're talking different scenario, because if any kind of attack like this, now we're not worried about zombies. Now we're worrying about basically people fighting over the resources.
It's a form of zombie, isn't it?
Well, yeah, but at that point, you don't have a walking horde. Now you got actual, So yeah, I definitely want a 9mm at that case, and my 223. I mean, 22 in the head is better than 45 in the foot, but
I mean, you look at today in general, you see it every single day. They're always trying to put us against each other constantly.
I think in any major disaster, zombie, Carrington event, anything like that, I think people will potentially be the biggest threat. So, she said, as resources dwindle, people don't have the skills they need. Nobody has a pantry anymore. When you get real hungry, things that you normally wouldn't consider, you might start considering, and that's when
not even necessarily that. I mean, you look at some of the things that have gone over the past few years. Things get announced. This change happens, that change happens, and then all these people go out and start vandalizing buildings, running in, robbing stores.
Right. That's because they get away with it. They're quick profit, but that's not even at the level because they have to, because they feel they have to, because their family's going to starve. You get to that level, and even grandma next door is willing to steal from you.
Right. Well, that's what I'm saying, though. We're not to that level yet, but we've already seen the past few years where people are willing to go out and do this, that, the other. When it gets to that level, it's going to be 10 times worse.
You really think that the majority of people would not try help each other? Like you just see the worst in everybody?
It depends on where you live.
The majority of people are fucking sheep.
If you live in the city, folks that live in the city, how many people actually know their neighbors? I mean, you can take 10 steps out your front door to your neighbor's house. Do you even know your neighbors? When I was living in the cities, they didn't know those people, and they didn't want to know their neighbors. Out here in the country, yeah, you know your neighbors, and even if you don't like them, you work together. So the folks that live out in the country who know their neighbors are more apt. They are going to work together than the people that are in the cities who they don't know each other.
Yeah, but you know what's
Right.
going to happen? If resources in the city run out, the people from the city will venture out into the country. Now, question is, would the country folk welcome them and try to help them? You know, given
So,
that people coming from the city are not just savages and just want to take shit, but they want to actually build some kind of relationship, or would they just say, just basically, no, fuck you, city folks, get the hell out of here? Because what I used to,
I think it would come down to this. You remember this one? You remember this one, Daniel? What kind of American are you?
Yeah. They're where they got us divided right now. You take a look at it. Most of the cities are Democrat, and they're running down their the cities, and they tried all these here social experiments. Folks out in the country are conservative. I mean, if you, as far as looking at the majority of people that live out in the country are conservative types. They know they want to make their own way, and they know how to balance their checkbook and want the government involved the least amount possible in their lives. Folks in the cities, they want the government to be the head of the household, to be the provider, instead of, the husband being the provider in the home. They're looking at the government. Where out here in the sticks, we don't want the government to be the head of the households. It's a value system. There are some folks that live in the cities that got good values, but they're few and far between.
That's it, man. It's like I can leave here and be gone for a week or 2 weeks, and I don't have to worry about it, because even though I have neighbors, I'm far enough out in the sticks that the neighbors I do have are watching the house for me.
no, I was just curious. I still say for zombies, 22 works just fine.
I'm still gonna say, no matter what, if it comes to that kind of situation, if you got something you can swing, you're better off, because it's a lot lighter, a lot easier to carry. You ain't gotta worry about ammunition. But if you do have to worry about ammunition, use the biggest motherfucker you got. In my case, it's probably gonna be a 44 Magnum or a 45 Colt or something along those lines. It's gonna be a big bore, blow your motherfucking head off in one shot, done.
Yeah, but you gotta run out of ammo real fast, and you're gonna have a hell of a time finding a replacement. The 22 long rifle, however, you pretty much find it anywhere. And think about it. If people start looting the freaking gun stores, most of the people are gonna overlook the 22 long rifle and just go for the big stuff.
it's just another reason every American should have a stockpile of 22, Scotsman.
Yep.
Working 22.
Hey, New York Outcast. I think I got a little bit of a stockpile of 22, don't I, Jamie?
A little bit, and it was pretty much added to recently.
And quite frankly, with the new semi-automatic guns, holding a bunch of freaking rounds like the SIG, P322 or whatever, there's no reason not to have one.
You'll need nothing new, man. I got a Marlin Model 60.
There's nothing wrong with that. That thing will run anything.
It was built in 1979. It holds like 18 plus 1. So problem is when you run out, you got to pull that tube out and fill it back up. You got to have some cover for that.
But it'll probably shoot just about any. It'll probably shoot the 22 shorts too.
It runs and shoots good. I think it's from what I've heard about the reviews, now I don't own a 1022, which I really need to fix. But when it comes down to the Model 60 versus the 1022, I've heard most people that I've seen review them say that the Model 60 is more accurate, but the 1022 is more efficient to run because it's magazine fed.
If you haven't got that, I think you should consider the 1522. I'll bring it up earlier. Yeah, everybody's got their preferences, this and that. I know a whole generations have gone up on the 15 or the 1022, but you know, I've shot both. Had lots of friends with the Ruger. You know, I've seen issues with the magazines. Everybody's like, "Oh, that rotary mag, da 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 da," or you can get the PX mag or this. I've seen problems. I mean, people can say that's not true or whatever. I don't know. I've seen them. You know, the customization. There's a lot you can do with that firearm, but if you're just talking about like, you know, rounds down range and a decent platform, I would say consider the 1522. I mean, go your own way either way, but as if you're holding like apples to apples, I think I personally went with the 1522 and have no regrets. No regrets. As Paul said there, like you get one of those in the zombie, you know, apocalypse, you're pretty good. You are pretty good with one of those. Breaks down similar to an AR. You can just pop the bolt out, wipe it off, piss on it, slap it back together, do what you got to do, just keep running. It'll go through thousands of rounds without any major service, nothing like that. Had it out for the weekend with friends, kids, family, you know, neighbors, people I didn't even know. We're dumping Federal, the Winchester, the, you know, Aguila, whatever, you know, different ammunition, no problem. Thing just runs. So, very nice. Like I said, the breakdown is different. That's where it's definitely has something on the 1022. And a lot.
Hold on. You're a salad eating cheap bastard. You ain't buying fucking Aguila.
Hey man, I can show you a box right now. Well, in like 2 minutes, but yeah, I got all types of stuff.
Someone bought that for you. You didn't fucking buy that.
Sure did.
Somebody broke into his house and left it there.
Okay. Have you guys watched that movie Tremors?
Yeah.
Okay,
Which
there was
one?
a line in Tremors that Reba McEntire made. And if you don't live by this, if you can't identify with this, you are going to die in the zombie apocalypse. And the line is, I guess he chose the wrong rec room to break into. You remember that in the movie where the worm was coming through their basement wall, going into the rec room? And they're sorting through all the different guns to use to choose for which one they needed to kill the worm.
So I don't remember that, but I hadn't seen Tremors in a long time. Bama Dad asked, what are us guys with astigmatisms going to do with our red dots if there's an EMP? Well, you can take them and trash them. You're going to have a rifle with a traditional rifle scope, Bama Dad, so you can adjust the ocular and the objective. That's my thinking.
Yeah, just use pistols, an iron sight, and this regular old scope without all that dot stuff on it.
And if your astigmatism's that bad that you're having real problems seeing iron sights, you got a pretty big problem right there. Because
you just buy an extra one and keep it in a Faraday box. And an old microwave will work as a Faraday cage.
They've had things disproven that with cell phones, where you throw it in there and it's supposed to kill the signal, but it still picks it up in microwaves. So,
well, technically, isn't a metal trash can a Faraday box?
Basically, if it seals tightly with the lid, yeah. I was going to say in a lot of cases, your safe or gun cabinet could be, you may have to apply that metallic tape on any weather seal or stripping you have to seal it up. But, yeah, it's definitely not. They said, the last Carrington event or whatnot, not all electronic devices were affected. So it's not 100% that we lose everything.
That was
everything,
the mid 1800s.
Sure, yeah.
The only
everything
electronics they had was a telegraph.
Everything that's powered, not necessarily, maybe, depending on a lot of other factors, maybe in some areas things would be affected more than others that weren't connected to anything.
Well, it was one of the biggest reasons they got rid of lead paint. They tried to tell you it's for your health. It wasn't for your health. They got rid of lead paint so they can get the signals through your house. So everything flows through where they want it to flow through.
No, they actually got rid of it because of health. Because
it's not health. Fuck off, you dipshit.
Yeah, well, there's a whole goddamn law against it, and training.
Yeah. It's fucking bullshit.
Go talk to the fucking people that have a lead poisoning working and sanding.
Get the fuck out of here, dude. Did they get lead poisoning from fucking paint?
Oh yeah, of course you can. Easy. It's actually
Were
fairly
they
easy.
guessing it? No. So shut the fuck up. They weren't getting it from fucking paint.
You know what? You probably have the lead poisoning already. You should stop chewing on the fucking windowsill. You're fucking apart.
Stop licking windowsills, man.
Dude, I grew up painting with that shit. Fuck off. There's nothing wrong with lead paint.
That explains a lot about you.
They didn't have potato chips. They just had paint chips.
Yeah. That was the Scottish way.
Lead paint is perfectly fine. Oil-based bullshit, that'll get you sick real quick.
It takes forever to dry, too.
Fuck yeah, it does. You gotta sit there and watch it.
So back to this 1522 thing. So the big attraction there is the magazine capacity, Rob.
Not necessarily. I would say it's the whole package. It's very similar to an AR. The breakdown is one of the big things to me, that I can just break it down and field strip it with no tools, similar to an AR. So therefore, if you were in a bad situation or at night or whatever, and something did happen, or just general maintenance, is easy and quick to do. I think, personally, any gun that people are going to depend on like that, in a lot of those situations, shit hit the fan or whatever, you shouldn't need a bench and, an armory kit to break it down. And a lot of the other mimicking AR firearms, that's what you got to do. In some cases, they're a plastic shell of an AR with a completely different action placed inside the shell, and you got to unbolt it all to pull it all apart to actually service the gun and clean it. And that's just ridiculous to me. As well as taking a real AR, dropping it, neutering it, slamming one of those kits in it. They've come a long way. I hear they're reliable now. I don't personally go that route, but you're still spending more money buying different magazines, this and that. You might as well just buy the damn different gun and run with that.
Just buy a pistol caliber carbine, and you can get a high point, really, and problem solved.
Hold on.
It fits your budget.
Daniel, the problem there is it costs more than a salad. He's not going to spend that.
No, well, for the record, the 1522 average base model costs more than your average base model Ruger 1022. So if you want to look at it as finance, you're actually going to spend a little more. But you get a more served tool.
They don't make the breakdown 1522 like they do 1022, that you can put in a little backpack and don't look anything like a gun case.
Well, you could technically pop the pins in, I don't know, 2 seconds and throw it in a bag.
Yeah, not even close. Not even close
right
to break down 1022.
I don't know. It's not a game changer to me. So I'd rather be able to keep it serviceable and running. And
well, 1022 is more than serviceable. You don't need anything. You can do anything with a bullet. You can drop the trigger pack, everything. So servicing 1022 is not a question.
I kind of have to agree with Val on this one. That doesn't happen very often, but I have to agree with him on this one because their breakdown models do break down very nicely. That comes with the bag already, and it looks nothing like anyone would ever expect as far as a firearm. And then again, they're super reliable.
But you're breakdown model to a standard model, so we're just talking standard guns. I guess you could get a breakdown model if you want to try to make it smaller or whatever. But I still don't think you're going to break it down as quick as a 1522. And I would play money. I would bet money that you can't. I mean, if we want to do this as a challenge, I'm up for it.
Absolutely, you're gonna break it down and assemble it in the same time it takes you just breaking down 1522, 100%. And if you take the whole thing, put in a mag in, and actually fire, forget it.
You want to do a challenge? To do a video on this because I'm pretty sure I'm going to kick your ass.
To do the video loading 10 bullets in your magazine, so shut the fuck up. All right, I already did one challenge and nobody freaking did it, so I'm not doing any other challenges.
Well, I offered to back up my statement. That's all I'm saying publicly. I even offered to pay to do it, and I don't do that. So
you put a video and then I'll do one. I'll show you wrong.
Do you have a breakdown 1022?
Yes, I do. No, technically I don't. My friend has one.
But you have access to one.
Yeah.
Yeah, I've got a standard 1522. I'm referring to breaking it down in reassembly. So, which I'm willing to, I can do quicker than Bald with his 15 or 1022.
All right. You're on. Do the video.
All right, let's
video. Come up here. Let's do it right in front of same time. We'll break it down.
No, you can't have the gun on.
Basic. We'll strip it down and one of us will pull it.
You can't do it on YouTube.
Listen, Salad Eater, go make a fucking video, get the challenge started, and then Ball will make a video, and we'll see who wins. And here's the thing of it. So we got to clarify on the rules of this. Number one.
It's already bullshit. Let's be in the same room. There's no trickery. There's no editing. There's no bias. We both start at the same time. We both break it down right there. If you fuck up, fuck up.
Rob, listen. Before you put your foot in your mouth, how about you go watch a fucking video on a Ruger 1022 takedown? How it actually comes apart.
No. Oh, hey, don't give him anything, dude. He's confident. I want to see this shit. Let's make it happen.
Right, yeah. A regular Ruger 1022 versus a regular Smith & Wesson 1522. I am confident. I will bet you money.
Never mind. Now, one thing that you need to consider also, you come out of the woods with a 1022 in your hand, you look like a hunter. It pretty much looks like a small hunting rifle. You come up with a 1522, basically looks like an AR. Makes you look more like a military. So in some kind of, breakdown, rule of the law scenario, I want to be a gray man. I don't want to be looking like a military. I don't want to have military style shit on me and all that stuff. I want to look like somebody that just wants to get.
I think this is an interesting concept. I'd like to see the videos.
Yeah, we got to see the videos. You boys figure it out. what you're gonna do if you're gonna get together or not. If you're not getting together, here's the thing of it. If you're not gonna get together and you're gonna do separate videos, make sure that timer is clear and present in front of the screen where we can all see it 100%. Make sure we can see the entire gun 100%. You in front of the screen, the whole 9 yards, and see everything. There's nothing hidden whatsoever. No trickery, none of that bullshit.
All right, here's no need. Scotsman, think about this. All right. The guns are on the table. They are picked up, disassembled, put back together, and a shot fired. Stop timer. Can we do that, guys?
Yeah, but are we breaking it down or just breaking it in half? Because that's what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
Breaking it down. You got two pieces, and then you're putting it back together.
Because the regular 1022, you can't really break down into two pieces. It's got to be the takedown.
That's why you got to have the takedown model.
Yeah.
Yeah, you can go all the way from pulling it out of the backpack, putting it together, throwing a mag in, and shoot it.
Yeah. I just got to get together with my buddy and bring the gun to the range.
Is that doable, Rob?
I don't know. I mean, I was referring to the regular 1022.
Regular 1022 doesn't come apart. You gotta have a takedown.
There's two different regular 1022s. One is the one, Rob, you're talking about. The other one is the one Valve is talking about, the breakdown.
I mean,
they're both regular 1022s.
I mean, you're talking bolt removal and everything, right?
No, just take the upper and lower part.
About a field strip. I'm talking about breaking it down, pulling your bolt out. You can look down the chamber. All your pieces are right there in front of you, and then you slam it right back together.
My idea was holding the gun up in two parts and then putting it back together as fast as you can.
Exactly.
Well, that's not really doing anything. What is that proving? You can pull it apart and put it back together. That's not a.
Well, I was talking about the 1022 because you can fold it and put it back.
Look. You said you could pop the two pins in 2 seconds or less, pull the gun apart, and put it back together.
Yeah, including the bolt and everything. So he's taking the bolt.
You can pull the bolt and all of that in less than 2 seconds.
Well, I could do it quicker than Val can with a 1022.
No. What you said was 2 seconds. So you're telling me in 2 seconds you can pop both pins, pull the bolt, the charging handle, all that shit, and put it all back together in less than 2 seconds.
Real close.
I'm called bullshit. I call absolute fucking bullshit.
Well, my bet's with Val that I can beat him. So if he wants to do that, we could do the bet. I'm down with it. Seconds, I don't know. I haven't tried it in 2 seconds or made that a goal, but I'm sure it could be done quicker than Val can with a 1022.
With a takedown 1022.
No, standard 1022. Standard, because the average person has a standard 1022. When people say 1022, they think of the standard 1022. Whatever.
What people think.
And all that shit. So you can't take it apart like AR. You can't compare it like
that. You can't be done. It can't be done. But I can try it with the takedown if you want to take the point further.
Down, I can break it apart and put it in a nice case that doesn't resemble a gun case at all. And you said technically I can break down my thing, blah 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 blah. Yeah, but it's not the same thing. You can't break down your.
That's the whole point. So if you were going to buy one that's more efficient, and actually, if you actually had to depend on it, don't buy the one that you can just pull apart in 2 seconds to prove a point and put it back. Yeah,
your whole fucking point is you're saying you can prove a point and break it down faster than he can. That was your whole freaking thing.
Right, I can versus the standard 1022.
Okay, well, let's see it.
English. All right, so put some fucking money up. Let's do it.
Listen, go on the Ruger website and look at the 1022 takedown before you completely put your fucking
I'm
foot in
not
your
talking takedown. The offer I put out was with a basic 1022.
The
That was
takedown
the
is a
offer.
basic 1022.
Basic 1022, you can't take apart like that at all. You can
The other one, the breakdown.
Exactly. So therefore, if you already know, then I already won.
Yeah.
But I can do it to prove it. I mean, if you got to make a video about it,
now you're backing the fuck up on your wood, you motherfucker.
That's the whole point I'm making to him is that
that's gonna be
that's more realistic, more functional, more if you had to depend with your life on it, go with the other one because you can actually break it down, clean the bolt, and put it back together very quickly without any tools or screwing around. If you can pop 2 pins, you can access the bolt. It's that simple.
Yeah, 1022 don't even need a cleaning.
All 22, especially if you're going to be spending it with your life on it. Then you're damn right.
Is like a block. It just runs.
All right. Oh, geez. All right. So the people want to see this. So you two boys figure it out and make it happen.
Don't tell me what to do.
Shut the fuck up.
Don't tell me what to do.
Please, Val.
Shut the fuck up. God, such a whiny little bitch.
You wanker.
Oh, fuck's sake. All right. Anyway.
And then he's gone. Dang.
Quit being a whiny little bitch.
Wanker.
With that being said, we're coming up on the time. So we'll start with Val. What you got, brother?
I ain't got nothing. Thanks for having me. You know, shot the match. I have no idea. I got a bunch of footage. I gotta go through it, maybe throw some videos, but everything I put up, the freaking YouTube censors. And for some reason, with the 35,000 subscribers, none of my videos can get a decent views. So I don't even know why I bought it.
All right. Well, we appreciate you being here, and everyone out there wants to see this match between you and the freaking salad eater. So let's make it happen one way or another. But appreciate you being here, man. Daniel, what you got, brother?
Well, let's see. I have a New York compliant mag for a AR PCC 10 round. But then if you live in a normal state, you have the 30 round magazine. 30 round. But if you live in a truly free state, you can go ahead and get yourself the fun stick for your JP and go out and shoot all the zombies that you want. You're not going to run out of freedom seeds. But I'm just going to sit here back and forth there, and it's been very entertaining. Rob and Val, you guys going back, but do a video up if you so choose, and tell the world how the other person don't know what they're talking about and how they've been smoking crack their whole life. But just make it fun and don't bore me. Thanks for having me on tonight, folks. Side chat. Love you. Peace out.
All right. Appreciate you, man. And you forgot one thing there, Daniel. Try to keep it under 5 minute, fuckers. I hate long videos. Keep it under 5 minutes. All right. Salad eater, what you got?
Not much. I might be inspired to do a video on this. So even though people don't want to hold up to their end and bet some money, but just still to make the point. So I have done this in a previous video in the past on the firearm, but it would definitely be well under 5 minutes. If for any reason it went over, it'd just be a rant about our conversation tonight. Other than that, I could do it well under a minute, no problem. So it might not be 2 seconds, but it would definitely probably be, I don't know. I don't want to throw numbers out, but maybe 5, 6. So I don't know. We'll see. But other than that, eat a salad, stay out of trouble, all that good stuff. And, got to watch out for those damn New Yorkers, especially those KGB New Yorkers with mysterious girlfriends they won't bring around. keep an eye out for those guys. I think we're being infiltrated.
All right. Well, I appreciate you, man, showing up. And I didn't say I wouldn't put money on it. I'll put money on it because, man, you two fuckers out. Let's see it. Let's see it, man. But you did say 2 seconds, so you said 2 seconds or less to be accurate to your words. So don't be trying to switch it up when you said 2 seconds or less, because that's what you said. But with that being said, folks, appreciate everyone out in the side chat. Y'all rock. We thank you for coming out, hanging out with us, having fun, enjoying just a little bit of back and forth banner. And with that being said, Jamie, would you please take us out right, sir?
I'm working on a video. Me and Scotsman were able to spend some time at the range last week, so I'm hoping to get that going on. But as Allen would tell us, keep your magazines loaded and one in the chamber. Woo!